We're So Much
Winning
Media, and join us on our journey in finding unity in the Twin Cities.
We took the train on into Minneapolis, where we saw a lot of the city, but our story wasn't there. It was further off.
In lieu of the store being named Dead Media, it gave us so much life to arrive there. There, we sat down with Benji, who gave us insight on the local music scene.
We have shows like every weekend, or at least like once a week, a couple times a week. We have like a booking email, and you can like book shows a couple weeks in advance, or like couple months or whatever in advance. And we have our own in-house record label, like Dead Media Records.
Dead Media Records is a small label that helps local artists reach larger platforms.
So there's a lot of like stuff from all over the United States, but particularly the Midwest and Minneapolis. And within that, we have our own beautiful Dead Media one, which I recommend.
Before leaving, Benji showed us a vintage sit-and-listen station and also the store's take and leave a mixtape section. We even got to sign the bathroom with our group's name, SoMuchWinning Media. After leaving Dead Media Music, we anticipated on heading back to the light rail. To our enjoyment, SMW caught a 2-for-1 deal at our next local businesses. First at Imbue Yoga Studio for a pop-up elixir with herbalist and owner of ancient medicinal herbs, John Yakino Russell. According to Russell, he cured himself of cancer using alternative treatment.
I was just actually healed of cancer. I was diagnosed last year in April. They gave me 3 to 6 months to live. I had myeloma cancer, which is, they say, one of the most aggressive cancers in the bone marrow. And I was going down pretty quick. My symptoms came up in January of last year. And when I got my symptoms, things went downhill really quickly. I was bedridden. I lost all my weight, no appetite. The homeostasis was completely off balance. It was crazy. I didn't know what it was until April when I got my test results back from a bone marrow biopsy. They came back to me and said, this is myeloma cancer. It's pretty aggressive. You got about 3 to 6 months. Start saying your goodbyes. That's what they told me. But being an herbalist for over 20 years, being involved in the holistic sciences for that long, once I knew what it was, I was like, okay, I can go back home now and put together a nice blend and begin healing myself. That's exactly what I did. And so I put together medicinal mushrooms and added a strong dose of CBD. Took that constantly, about 3-4 times a day, plus utilizing the flower in the smoking form, eating it, edibles, taking the tinctures of it. That flower has amazing healing potential. It has caused me to cure cancer.
John was gracious to let SMW sample CBD oil just before treating us to some live music.
Namo, namo, Bhagavate, namo, namo.
The pop-up concluded with a positivity power circle where John shared insightful information with fellow spiritual enthusiasts. Another small business owner, Lacey Perpich Hetke, briefly attended the session and conveniently owned a shop next door.
March 11th, 2017.
Okay.
And then I later researched the history of this building, and that's the building's birthday too.
Wow.
In the 20s, March 11th. So I threw an opening party that day. It was a full moon, and the power on the whole block went out.
Wow.
And I like to think that the building was like, someone finally remembered my birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday. Happy
I know.
Summer return day, whatever. Okay.
So yeah, it's been since March 11th, so about almost a year and a half that I've been open. So in the front is the shop, and almost everything is made by women, queer, and trans folks. A lot of them are local. And then everything having to do with magic, healing, witchery. And then this space is part workshop. I make processional banners in here. And then we have workshops and talks and dinners and seances, so kind of everything.
After learning about the shop's history, Lacey took our team on a magical tour of the future.
It's got crystals, books, zines, apothecary items, candles, herbal smokes, lots of tarot and oracle decks, incense, jewels, and crystals and art.
At the beginning of this story, our expectations was to highlight the different gems of Minneapolis in the small business community. The record store, yoga studio, and witchery shop All represented different genres and cultures within the city. The record store was a step back to what music used to be, but incorporated a heavy influence from the LGBTQ community. The CBD session showed us how residents in Minneapolis have similar struggles and are looking for something to heal them. And the Witchery store exemplified what the Twin Cities is all about, giving a platform to different kinds of people. For the first time signing off, this has been SoMuchWinning Media.